Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to Le Frère. Hello, hello. Oh, 1 minute late today. I hope that, yes. Oh, this is going to be nice. 1 minute late, guys. Running, 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 finishing up some stuff that took my attention away. Let me get my microphone together as well. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to Le Frère. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, so I'm just getting myself situated here. Was just posting something on my IG account today. Um, yes, so we're here in the house. Welcome, 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 everyone. Welcome, welcome. So yes, again. So this week has been magnificent, very much so magnificent for me. We're addressing the nervous system, the gut, the presence, being present in the here and now, which is the most amazing and most important part of all of your true visions, your true comprehension, um, your true insights to self, around self, um, what is it that you're calling into yourself. And present moment is always the most important and valuable space to be in order to understand, see, to reevaluate, to curate as well yourself, your life, and etc. So this is what it is about. And I have added it into the concept of our gut healing from what I have understand and what I've been paying attention and what I've been looking at as well for within myself. We are so much about energetic frequency. We call in, we communicate, we receive, all within ourselves firstly and then outside, and accepting too what comes from outside that we hold within ourselves. And a gut is where we store most of everything, all of our traumas from yesterday, from our childhood, even if the possibility of what is to come, because you are the one that's projecting what you think will come in the future for and of self. And so you store everything within inside of your gut, holding it captive, holding it prisoner to the comprehension that maybe you can deal with it, maybe you can't, maybe it has value, maybe it doesn't. And that's why the present moment is so important, because when we are children, we are just in the moment. We're not holding on to what happened to us in the past. We're not holding on to what happened to us 5 minutes ago. And we are definitely not projecting what is going to happen in the future. Even if we're looking forward to a party that's coming up, that comes within mind. If you think about it, you energetically feel it, you flow with it, but then it loses its value, it loses its essence, because in that present moment you're back to what you are feeling, doing, and experiencing. And so that's why I brought up this. I've always talked about present moment, and for me this has always been something that, maybe because I live with my inner child always, that it is always a very important part of myself. And I have had to really and truly look at many things to be able to understand my gut situation, why it is, where it stems from. And I have to say too, a lot of it is also from trauma from past. And again, sometimes we see it and sometimes we refuse to, and sometimes we don't, because in that present moment of the storm of your situation, you're not able to deal with it truly. You're not able to address it. And so then you're like, okay, I'm going to put this off and I will take care of that when I have that moment and that space too. But then life takes over, as we know. life takes over. And it's one of the true factors to why I say we all have emotions for a reason. And those emotions is to be addressed and dealt with at that present moment. Regardless if it's going to ask you to shed a few tears, and someone might say, oh, you're too sensitive, whatever, I don't care. Whether it is that you've gotten angry at something or at yourself, say what you need to say, do what you need to do, bring that emotion out so that it is no longer something that you're going to bury into yourself and say, okay, I can't address this right now, I can't show this right now because of the space and etc where I'm at, that it will be used against me, whatever the tool is, whatever it is you've noticed, whatever you've experienced. Letting it free is the key to freeing yourself. It is the free. And I've come into that context too of the chakras, because I too have had to really and truly look at those chakras in order to energetically, space by space, move into these spaces, these chakras, so that I can see if I have had blockages in those areas, understand where. And I knew that I had one. One in particular was always my menstruation cycle, and that was the lower. And so I knew fully and truly, and the reasons I knew that is because of being a dancer. Being a dancer, having certain movements, I knew that certain movements I was not allowing my body to fully flow in because of that. I saw it, I felt it. And it's one of the reasons too, again, why I can say being someone that observes and understands that your emotions to address at that present moment is how you can allow your higher self and the energy of communication to receive and to put out to the universe to guide you. I've always said, I know this is something there, and I need and I want to get this taken care of. I want to get this looked at, because I know the more and more that I keep this suppressed, I keep this stagnant, or I refuse to not see it, is where the longer that I will have that blockage, that flow not fully aligning and flowing to, through, and around me. And so because of that, I was always aware, and I kept energetically saying to the universe and verbally, I sense it, I feel it. What do I need to do? How can I get this? I want this taken care of. So I never let it go away, and I never did not want to address it or see it. I saw it, I looked at it for myself, and I communicated with the universe and with my body. This is another key thing. With my own vessel, I was communicating. I see you, I feel you. I don't know, understand what it is about. I don't understand why it is what it is, but I see it, I feel it, and I do want this to be addressed. I want this to be released. I want complete alignment and flow of my vessel, of every energetic shift, process, love, care, guidance. I want that for myself, and that is what becoming an observer of yourself requires. Hello, hello, hello. It's 3 in the morning. Wow. Hi. Well, thank you so much for just jumping on in. Well, again, we all have such time differences. I am in the Caribbean, and so I'm doing my best to meet you where you are and I where I am at. And a good thing too, this is on YouTube. It's going to live here. You can always come back and take a look at it when you really require or look for some guidance of sorts. And I am someone that, again, simply just asking you to reevaluate the ways in which we were trained, shown, taught for generations from our family, our lineage, from society, of how to see yourself, how to love yourself, how to go within and address yourself. You know what I mean? Yes, there may be something in your past that you might sense that is holding you back. And it's not just holding you back or in your gut, but it's holding you back in the way that you see yourself, your limitations, how you don't trust in your forward movement in self or your love language for self. What you are thinking is the right type of love for yourself that is also maybe aligning the with people that truly and honestly is not really and truly reciprocating and giving you that true love that is actually underneath this verbal or societal love definition that you have already embedded within yourself, that is for you. So for me it's about, and the present moment is always the most important, because this is where we truly are learning. This is where we truly are shaping, curating ourselves, our lives, to ask for more of ourselves and of the universe. The present moment is that. The past, that's already done with. That is literally forgotten. You don't need to go back there. You don't need to look back there. And the future is for you to, yes, keep putting out energetically wise, verbal wise, what it is you're wanting for yourself. But do not live truly for the future. Live for the moment. The moment is where you are calling, shaping, receiving, evicting. That word was hard to say. Evicting what is no longer serving you, what is no longer to be with you, and to help support you in the alignment of self and what it is you're calling in, what it is you're wanting, what it is you're shaping your life to be, what it is that you are like a string stripping from self that is no longer necessary, needed, wanted. That's it right there. I look at these things more, and the thing, a reason why I have this magical touch, feel, look that I look at things. It's like I want you to look at it in that sense of, it's not stricting, it's not limiting. When you look at it as a magical childlike energy, it's easier for you to start to just go in, see yourself, see beliefs that's been holding you back, and see it as, okay, it's nothing bad. I don't have to beat myself up, but just look at it, see it for what it is, and then say, okay, you know what? The moment it comes up, the moment you're seeing certain things, just simply, it's no longer part of me. That child part of me is looking at it and saying, I'm choosing to erase this. I'm choosing to just take it. Like in the movies, the sorcerer goes in with his fingers or the wand, whatever you want to say, and he just takes that thought out, that golden string of that negative thought, that emotion, whatever, and he just pulls it out and he goes whoop, swoop de whoop, and it's gone. It's away from you. And that in invocation of play mindset is the easiest way for you to stop guilt tripping yourself. It's the easiest way for you to slowly and truly regain power. Regain power in a sense that you're not going to be afraid anymore to look in the mirror of self. You're not fully, but you're taking those steps. You're taking those steps to say to yourself, I know what I've been seeing, I've been hearing, I know what I've been saying to and of myself. But I can look in the mirror from today with my inner child and just start pulling the curtains on those things. Start opening the door, start opening the window, start letting the fresh air come in, the sun come in. Start seeing those sentences, those phrases, those emotions for what it is, and allowing it to come to the surface slowly and truly. You start in 1 second, the plate is going by. You start to give yourself that permission that I see it for what it is. I'm not gonna guilt trip myself. I'm not gonna put myself into anger, rage, frustration, whatever, for whatever it is. I'm just simply gonna see it for what it is and ask myself, why did I believe that? Why did that have so much weight, so much power, so much control over me? Allow that information to download, to explain to you, to show you, so that you can then say, okay, I no longer need it anymore. I understand it for what it is, and that's that. This is going to help you to build boundaries. This is going to help you to start shaping the way that you want to be seen and loved for yourself, not for others, but for yourself. You're going to start to be able to see why it is you thought that the way that you want to show up for yourself is not accepted by the outside, but not really and truly so much that weight is going to affect you in that, but by yourself. You're going to start giving yourself that permission to say, okay, you know what? And the funny thing about all of this is, like, people say when you get older, you start to align more, you start to give no more of a care what the outside world says. It's not really and truly so much that. It is more the fact that you start to come home to yourself. You start to give yourself permission to be in your presence. And again, the reasons I believe that we did not, or we've been holding ourselves in such a space that we weren't doing that, is simply because we are by nature to have people around us, to align with communities and etc. But we placed ourselves in such a burden that we believe that in order to have all of that, we have to conform, we have to, have the same mindset, the same point of view. That so much of us give up on ourselves, and or lose that part of ourselves to just say, you know what, I can still want to be in the community, I can still want to be in alignment with other people, but I don't need to. I can agree to disagree in certain contexts and certain spaces, but still be apart, as long as it is going to be a functional communication between you and the others. If they are not, threatening you, if they're not making it seem as though your perspective of something is threatening to the community, to the, to the group, whatever, then, and that's when you find someone or find a community or a group that allows that, honestly, you're in a safe space, you're in a safe environment, you are with people that are not afraid of indifferences. You're in a space that is not afraid of indifferences. And that is an very very strong space, place, community to be in when they are like that. When someone isn't, or a group of people aren't, and they have someone is always saying and judging and stating what is to be, that's when you need to run. That is when you need to run and find your own community. And again, this is going to take time, but you have to be the one to give yourself that permission to know that, and accept that, and move with that understanding. And that's where we are. That is where we hold ourselves captive. That is where we hold ourselves back, and then have to, you know, with time, with experience, then comes the age, then we can understand and fully comprehend. Because when you're younger, you're believing what society has shown and said, we need to do this, be this a certain way in order to be accepted or seen in a community or seen at all. And so if you have that mindset from the beginning, it's going to be a rocky road, but at the same time, it's going to be the best road, because you are already building a relationship. You're already allowing yourself the permission to understand, okay, I don't have to conform. I don't have to shrink. I don't have to whatever to be accepted, to be seen. I just need to know that, okay, this is not my community. This is not my group. This is not my people. This is not my person. I'm going to give myself that space, that time to find. And again, that's where you become your own strength, courage, value, self-worth. You start to see and understand and learn what is your love language, what is your health. Because again, we have to understand, words is not the first form of us becoming trapped, segregated, placed into fear, etc. It is first from energy. Someone that is so truly aligned with their own thoughts and understanding of self can communicate this without saying words. You will feel it firstly. The only time you would need words is because you are refusing to listen. You are refusing. And listening meaning trusting your intuition, what it is telling you. Your intuition is your first form of energetic communication between yourself and someone else, society, the world. That is that inner voice within us that is letting us know what is and what isn't. And that is also how you communicate to others when you don't like something before you say it verbally. So yes, the present moment is your true teacher. It is your true vision that takes you to the finishing line before you even get there, because it's what is building you. It is what is shaping you. It is what is asking you time and time again what to call in within self, for self, of self, what to evict from self, of self, and outside of you at the same time. It takes very much a courageous person to even understand and see that. Again, we have to understand that emotions is not a bad thing. It is something that is guiding you and asking you to see yourself, to see what is troubling you, why it is troubling you, why it is, or what is it is making you think you're less than, not worthy of, etc. This is where you are learning, building, becoming more and more and more and more. So yes, I know that you have a vision for yourself. You've been laying out the 1 to 2, 3 steps of, forward movement. But don't forget that those moments where nothing is happening, or you're being put in a position where you're just, something is shaking you, to just observe, to be settled and grounded in that present moment. That particular day is for a reason, for you to stop allowing the past fear or where you're trying to get to shake you, make you rush, think you're not ahead or you're not doing enough, placed you into fear that sinks into the gut. That fear that sinks into the gut, that okay, things is not moving, I don't have enough, I'm not getting what I want, when I want, whatever it is, so that you can release, okay, and just show up. Just show up. So all right, it's not a lot of people here today, but in itself, I'm very grateful. I'm very thankful that for me, the reason that I'm present with all of this is the fact that from an early age, I've been listening to myself. I've always trusted myself. And the reasons I can add these information, this perspective for you to understand. For instance, I'll give you a prime example. I've shared again about the way that I eat, the way that I take care of my body. The reasons why I don't argue, I don't explain to people when which is family, have stated to me, literally stated to me, that maybe I'm anorexic. Why do am I eating because I just want to stay skinny and etc. It's simply because these people are around me time after time, day after day. And in which the ways that I eat, the things that I eat, they choose to see it in this negative context. For me, that is not worthy of me to explain or say other, simply because they already have this mindset that eating a certain way and a certain type of meals is healthy. It is what is the norm. And so someone doing the opposite, doing, completely different from themselves, how they reframe that as it's something negative, it's something bad. Yes, of course, there's certain things, yeah, that they should also look at, maybe, for the anorexic situation. But again, the reasons I don't and have never addressed it or say anything negative to them about, to how do I say this, to justify, is simply because I know firstly, I'm not that. Secondly, I have been cooking, eating, the way that I shop and etc. around them. They see it. So for me, it's like, okay, this is what you choose to see. This is what you choose to believe. That's not a question you're asking me to explain why it is I do this. You're stating a statement. So then, therefore, I don't need to explain anything else because you didn't come at me in a different way. So I don't need to explain anything. I'm simply going to just observe. This is what you choose to believe, to think, to see, and I understand the first, the cultural background. Secondly, the societal, you know, imprints. And I'm just going to leave it at that. And I have had that happen multiple times. And each time I have never added any specific kind of explanation. And I can truly and honestly tell you this because after my situation with my ex, there was some other friends of ours that we had in our life, which is his best friend's brother and wife. And after this whole situation, I saw them. And the wife was the one who explained to me that she never liked the way he would say certain things pertaining to me and how I ate. Which he said, I believe she said I think she said he was like, yes, she has to eat like this so she can stay slim. And she said, you never said anything. And I said, first and foremost, that's what he thinks, that's what he wanted. Because again, a narcissist wants exterior validation from the world. Okay? It's exterior validation. I looked good always. I was took care of myself. And a lot of people will always compliment me with him, etc. So, and I said to her, so she asked me, she's like, so was that true? And I said to her, no, I took care of myself because first and foremost, I had eating habits, eating issues with certain things, but I've always taken care of myself. What he wants that's his thing. That was never mine. And it's really and truly, that was really a true example. Even in the relationship, I never, never gave him that validation of understanding. He wants me to look a certain way because of his outside, validation he wanted from outside people, how they would see him. I never cared, because that showed me that was someone lacking self-confidence, self-worth, etc. with self. I always showed up for me. I always knew why I did the things I did for myself. So explaining is something I don't do. I don't do. I observe. And I also observe with how you say things. Again, there's a difference with someone asking you versus when someone subjectively stating this is who you are based on what they see and observe, which is also a lack and fear within themselves. And this is why I talk a lot about the courtroom. The courtroom meaning you constantly thinking you need to explain. And that in itself says a lot. When you think that you constantly have to explain, validate who you are, what you are about, why you show up the way you do, and etc., you're actually telling them and the universe you don't trust yourself. You don't believe that you have the right to be who you are in the ways that you do it for yourself. And that is something you need to second look. That is you asking for outside approval rather than inward. And so the food situation for me is the best thing I can use in this context of present moment, of being an observer, of the gut alignment with the brain, understanding where you're holding negativity, pain, regret, sorry, etc. And I also stated that my only issue I had along this journey so far, when it came to, let's say, eating situation, is the fact that I am on my, again, another form of healing journey within my vessel. And I had moments where things was getting really heavy with the alignment of how I'm paying attention to why it is I have these gut issues, etc., etc., etc. And I had a space where I was not at moments certain, would I get the medicine this week? Would I get certain foods that I wanted to eat this week? But every so often, I would always come back to that space within myself. No, this is what you want. We're going to put it out there. We're going to trust the universe. And again, the reasons why I always say I'm very happy to be always in the here and now is to show me more and more of where I'm holding myself back, where I'm not trusting my process, and etc. And I always ask, when I notice these things, I always ask why. What is going on with myself? What is going on? And so for me to talk about this right now with you is, again, had to step back, had to look at things. I'm doing this, I'm showing up, etc. And certain things were still going up and down. And I realized I'm not in a hurry, for sure, because I'm not. It took me so long for this all to be where it's at. Okay, so I know it's not gonna happen overnight, and if it does, I know it's because of the grace of God. It's the grace of the universe to just, aligns things the way it's supposed to be, and I'm just to trust. But one of that is letting go. Letting go. So that's why I say the past is the past. The only thing it's supposed to help me is to see, this is how I was doing it before. Okay, now we need to wash that away. Clean the slate. That's why I always say that is over and done with. Show up in the now. Pay attention here now. Where am I doing? What am I doing? Where am I putting myself in stress, and etc. And that allows you to, for one, slow down. Allows you to internally digest, open, question, see, which is the most important thing. See. You can't fix, you can't change, you can't evolve anything if you choose not to see the truth, regardless to what it is. And so with me doing that, again, I do these things often. I put myself in a space where I know it's going to happen. I know things are going to work out. Why? Because I see. I've asked time and time again, and I'm seeing. What I don't see or understand, I ask to be shown again, and I allow it to present itself when it's supposed to. And that's another thing. It is to present itself when you're ready, when you're in the alignment of it. And I trust. And I didn't want to say this, but yesterday we were out and about. I had to join my mom on one of her doctor's appointment. And something kept saying, because I wanted sunflower seeds, we went into the city a few weeks last Saturday and they didn't have any. And something said, let me ask my mom if we can get it. So she's like, yeah, let's go. I walk into the place and I was like, oh my gosh, this place looks so nice. They've gotten stocks on everything now, pumpkin seeds, etc. And I was like, okay. And I'm looking and I'm like, I said, no sunflower seeds. It's like, no, you're literally like a few minutes late. It just sold out. I was like, darn it. And he's like, okay. All of a sudden he disappears and goes into the back and comes out with a bag and gives it to me. What did he say? He's like, I forgot the words he used, but it was more along the gestures of, here you go. I was like, serious? He's like, yeah, here you go. So then I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And we're leaving there. And I said to myself, you know, this is who I am. I trust that if I don't get it, it's for me not to use right now. And it's not part of the process right now. But if I do, it is. And my mom was like, what? He gave it to you for free? I was like, yes, he gave it to me for free. She's like, wow. And I was like, yes, I feel amazing. I feel lucky. And that whole day, which is in itself the fact that these past, I would have to say these past 2.5 weeks, guys, the complete shift, I honestly am thankful. I'm honestly grateful. I don't look back. I swear to you, I don't look back. I don't like looking back. I learn. I ask to be shown. I ask to be, and that word thought, I don't know why I can't say it, how, I don't know how else to say it, but to be taught, what is for me, how it's to be shown up for myself. And lastly, I just show up. I am not forcing myself. I am not restricting myself. I'm not saying that I have to look a certain part, etc. I show up. And those days when I don't feel that I need to show up or I should show up, I trust that me not showing up is not a negative. Lastly, I am enjoying myself because I'm fully in a flow and alignment with my authentic self. That is the key. I'm fully in alignment with my authentic self. I'm enjoying my life. I am at, and again, that is my nervous system already safe and at peace from where things were in my life. It's true. My nervous system is completely at peace and at ease simply because I've been asking why it wasn't, looking to see why it wasn't. Yes, I even knew some of the reasons to why it wasn't. But in order to build upon more upon that, so that who knows what is to come tomorrow, I can be in charge of not allowing outside influence strip that away from me, take that away from me. This is why I use the context. You are the true holder of understanding what your love is, what it looks, sounds, feels. You. It all resides within you. That value of self, it all resides within you. That self-worth all resides within you. That wealth also resides within you. It does not mean if you are someone that works for a living, that could just be it for you. Or if you're someone that is starting your own business, that is it for you. Don't look at what other people are doing, saying. Not everyone is built the same way. Understand you, see yourself, accept yourself, and everything will completely and truly align in the ways that is you. That is it. That is you. Okay. I don't, at this moment, I don't want to speak too much, I don't want to speak more because I'm starting to get a little slight pain in my chest area here. So I think I'm going to give myself a few minutes breather. Does anyone have any questions? Where are you watching from? I have someone here, I think, I'm not sure if he's in Japan. As he said, 3 a.m. I know in Paris it's probably 8 p.m. America, I'm not sure what time it is. You know, and I know I have a lot of people watching me from all over the world, which is amazing. It is nice, I have to say that. um and I have been in many ways really truly contemplating how or what time should I switch to, or etc. But again, that is definitely something that will have to come in time. As much as I do love to go to bed on time, I'm still not in that space where I go to bed and or can go to bed early to rise early that I want. I do have those days where I lay down and I'm still not falling asleep properly. Also too,